shut down funding for the entire Department of Homeland Security because they didn't want to fund law enforcement. They now own the moniker. They are the party of open borders, anti-law enforcement, defund the police.
The repassed Senate bill is sent back to the House as Republican leaders push a new plan to fund ICE and CBP separately.
Republicans point out that both ICE and CBP were already pre-funded via the One Big Beautiful bill, which passed last summer. And they say they plan to give both agencies a whole lot more cash in an upcoming reconciliation bill in the coming weeks and months. That won't require any Democratic votes to pass in the Senate. And President Trump says he wants that bill on his desk by June 1st at the latest.
Fox's Bill Maloogian on Capitol Hill. In the meantime, the president says he'll order pay to resume for more of DHS after previously ordering TSA agents to get paid. Iran claims an expanded list of targets in its retaliatory strikes around the Middle East, including U.S.-linked steel and aluminum facilities, after criticizing President Trump's address last night. Body cam video just released from police in Florida responding to the Tiger Woods car crash last week. Woods is down on one knee.
I don't feel anything out of the asshole. We're still going to have our medic come and check you out, all right?
Yeah. Police have said Woods told them he had taken pain medication earlier.
Now, the driver of the other truck tells police that he was stopped and getting ready to make a turn when Tiger clipped the trailer behind his truck.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichol. Woods has since pleaded not guilty to charges including DUI and says he's stepping back from golf and seeking treatment. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect a few thunderstorms in the area with the possibility of some being severe. It'll be cloudy and windy with storms potentially bringing heavy rain leading to flooding, hail, strong winds, and even the chance of an isolated tornado. The temperature will reach a high of 70 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Make sure that you never miss a day of Sean Thompson when you subscribe to the Sean Thompson Show podcast, presented by the Alpha Wealth Group. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts, or search for The Sean Thompson Show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Born on America's darkest day, 9/11/01, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping American heroes ever since. Heroes like FDNY Lieutenant Edward J. McDonough Jr. McDonough served at Ground Zero. He later lost his life to a related cancer. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation was able to honor his sacrifice by paying off the family's mortgage. Donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
When someone you love is living with memory loss, finding the right care isn't just important, it's everything. At Terra Vista of Oak Brook Terrace, memory care isn't an add-on, it's all we do.
When Mom moved into Terra Vista, everything changed. She's safe, engaged, and surrounded by people who truly understand dementia. And I finally get to just be her daughter again.
Terra Vista was built specifically for caring for those with Alzheimer's and other types of dementia, with secure indoor and outdoor spaces, innovative therapies, and a community that feels like home. Residents stay active, connected, and respected every single day.
And the best part? Mom can live with dignity, and I have peace of mind.
If memory care is in your future, choose the community designed for it. Choose Terra Vista of Oak Brook Terrace. Schedule a tour today at terravista.org. Again, that's terravista.org, and tell them AM 560 sent you. Terra Vista, where memory care lives.
Some moments deserve more than just a space. They deserve a setting that feels special. At Kemper Lakes Golf Club, they make it easy to gather, celebrate, and enjoy time together. From bridal and baby showers to family celebrations and private events, the team handles every detail so you can focus on what matters most. Warm, inviting, and close to home, it's the perfect place to host your next event. Visit KemperLakesGolf.com to learn more and start planning today.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering smart security systems to homes and businesses. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Is the public's patience running thin with this war in Iran? Good morning, Amy Jacobson here on The Real Story. Filling in for Jeannie Ives is the one and only Harvey Jacobson. Yes, my father, 85 years old, Chicagoan, born and raised. And thanks so much for filling in. And we got the idea because when I was off, Jeannie had her nephew come in, and he did such a fantastic job. I'm like, why not have my dad come in?
Sounds like a great idea.
I know. It's Jacobson. We
It's
sound like
either a great idea or retribution.
I know. Oh, I'm going to be asking some questions later on.
Uh-oh.
Like which is your favorite daughter, Ginny, Chrissy, or Amy? We'll save it. So I want you to simmer to think about that one, because that's always a fun talk topic. But first, I wanted to talk about Trump because, as you know, you and I have both voted for Trump 3 times. I don't know about you, but I don't agree with everything he has done, but I'm supporting him in this war in Iran. And yesterday he delivered a 19-minute speech, his first major national address on the war in Iran. And he said that we're nearing completion.
From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat.
312-642-5600. What did you take away from what the president said? Does anybody have a clearer picture on how and when this war will end? And was anyone surprised that he didn't go off script? I mean, he went off script a little bit, but we want to hear from you. What did your take away from it, Dad? What did you like about it or wanted to hear more of?
Well, probably he should have done this earlier. However, he covered all the bases. The one thing that I am still in the dark over is how is he going to get this uranium?
Right, the uranium out. Well, he had mentioned that, before that they were going to have a surveillance program and they're surveilled because the uranium has been, they bombed the site and then they sealed up the entrances with cement, and that they're going to be keeping surveillance on that to see if and when, and if they do try and take it off, there'll be some sort of retribution. But I don't know if that's a solid plan. And Americans are they're feeling it at the pump. Gasoline up $10 a barrel already this morning. Gas prices started soaring during his delivery, during the speech yesterday. And that's where Americans, feel it the most. So do you feel more confident or more concerned after hearing President Trump? 312-642-5600. One part that I liked was when he told people to basically, it's important to keep the conflict in perspective.
American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer.
312-642-5600. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Bob in Buffalo Grove. You're on The Real Story. Good morning.
Good morning, Amy. Thanks for reaching out to me, and it's good to see your father. He's looking well. I hope they make it to his age. And too bad the weather's bad. He can't go out to the golf course today.
Flattery will get you nowhere. Good to hear your voice, Bob.
Just so you know, I want to reach out to your listeners. Yesterday was the first night of Passover, and I'm in a mixed marriage. So last night I had my first Seder and sat down for dinner. Fortunately, the dinner ended early, and I went into the TV room and watched Trump's speech. I agree with probably both of you. Trump said some good things, but I was also disappointed in not the tone, but the content. Having watched a lot of news media, he said pretty much what he's been saying for the last 3 weeks.
Right.
So I didn't get much new out of it. The only thing that was good, what you said, Amy, about mentioning the other wars, he was wrong on World War I. The war lasted a lot longer than 1 year, 7 months. That was only our involvement. That wasn't Europe's involvement.
Okay.
And he missed Desert Storm and a few other incursions. I'm just going to have to wait and play it out. He said 2 or 3 more weeks, and we'll see. Your father was right with regards to the uranium. I have no clue how he's going to get that. And then the other issue is, of course, opening up the strait. How are they going to get the strait opened up? And finally, he didn't really address it, and I wish he would have, really going after NATO. Where is NATO?
Well, they're being cowards. I mean, they're not stepping up, and that's the problem.
I wish he'd terminate a lot of our bases. Why do we have bases over there? Can't they take care of themselves?
That's a good question. Yeah. Thanks, Bob, for the phone call. Appreciate it. And one thing, when he was talking about the Straits of Hormuz, he was just saying, we're not dependent on oil from that region, but they're the global oil industry. I mean, that is the Straits of Hormuz. Asia relies 20% on their oil. And he basically told NATO and our European allies, if you want oil, just come and get it from the Straits of Hormuz.
What? Yeah, that was
We're
beautiful.
in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. Number one, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up.
Rainbows and unicorns. What did you make of that, Dad?
Oh, that was a beautiful move. He said, it's your problem. It's not ours. You go fix it.
And he was telling
We're
the
outta
world that,
here.
yeah, because the world was listening.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Let's go to Michael on the South Side. You're on The Real Story. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Amy. Thank you for taking my call, and hello to your father.
Hello.
Dad, say hi, Dad.
Hello. Hi, Dad.
Hello. I got to be honest, Amy. I did not listen to the speech because I didn't need to. Donald Trump had me from day one. His action against Iran is long overdue. Yeah, this country should have bombed these people decades ago. And finally, I'm amazed at all the critics who are complaining about the cost of this action against Iran. These same people want us to spend money on the Ukraine in its fight against Russia. I mean, the double standard is just amazing.
Yeah,
So,
I know. Thank you so much. Thanks
Yeah,
for your
thank
phone
you.
call. Got a text message. Hi, Amy and Harvey. I can't call in because I'm super busy at work making excellent heater mantles, but I'd like to thank you, Harvey, for raising your girls on the mean streets of Mount Prospect and say a special prayer for him raising 3 Jacobson daughters. Oh, that's very nice. That's from the Amish texter.
You should say a prayer for my daughters for putting up with me.
Okay. But we will find out which one you like best before the end of the show. Quickly, let's go to Ron on the South Side. Good morning, Ron. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning, Amy, and good morning to Mr. Harvey Jacobson.
Good morning to you.
And it's so good hearing you again because I remember you called in to the other show that Amy has on Sunday morning, and I enjoyed you. So, good morning. Real quick, and I'm like you all, I voted for Trump 3 times, and Amy, I agree with you. I don't agree with everything he does. I don't agree with anything all the time. But he has been talking about Iran a long time, before he was the president. So, regarding the message, very concise, very clear. He hit on all the important points. So I'm very pleased, and I really feel that we can feel some kind of security with these efforts. And you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. One thing that he did mention, I mean, we cannot ever forget the 13 service members who were killed. And Trump said before his address to the nation and to the world last night that he spoke to the service members who died, their family members, and they all said, finish the mission. Don't stray from what you're doing because of their murders.
Been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down in this fight to prevent children from ever face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I have traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families.
All right. Coming up on The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson and special guest Harvey Jacobson. We sound like a law firm, though. Jacobson and Jacobson. We never lost a case. Why, Dad?
We never filed suit.
Yeah, we never tried one. All right, coming up, Bears fans, listen up. You better wrap your minds around the team moving to Indiana. George McCaskey has spoken. We'll have that story. You're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Subscribe to the Real Story podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or at 560theanswer.com.
Business owners, now's the time for your business to make the move to a locally owned business bank. Hi, Mike Gallagher here to let you know that you don't have to look far. Signature Bank was founded in Chicago with a simple mission to help companies like yours grow, succeed, and thrive. Their decisions are made locally by a terrific team that knows your name, cares about your business, and invests in your success. That's That's why Signature Bank is my bank. I'm a customer. As business owners, they knew that local family-owned businesses were not getting the help they needed or deserved. So I invite you to reach out to my friends at Signature Bank today. Write the number down. Remember this phone number, Signature Bank, 773-467-5630, and learn all about this great bank, 773-467-5630, or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. That's signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank makes commercial banking personal. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's Reveille. Last week was committee deadline in the Illinois House. That day is supposed to be the last day for any bill to be passed out of committee in order to get a vote on the House floor. Of course, this rule does not apply to Democrats for whom there are no deadlines. By the numbers, 498 bills moved out of a House committee by the deadline. Of those, 47 were Republican bills, just over 9%. None of these bills fixes Illinois' highest property taxes, second highest gas taxes, or second highest corporate taxes in the country. In the last 10 days, Chicago firefighter Altman and Loyola University student Sheridan Gorman lost their lives from deranged individuals who had prior run-ins with the law and should have been in jail, in a mental institution, or, in the case of Sheridan Gorman's alleged killer, deported. These deaths were preventable. But none of the bills that passed out of committee furthered public safety in any meaningful way. Illinois has the worst funded pensions in the country. No bills addressed this problem. Instead, legislators are planning to make the problem worse, not better. Democrats did have great ideas, though. They included a bill that lets Uber drivers unionize, a bill that penalizes businesses if their workers are found working inside in temperatures greater than 80 degrees or lower than 65 degrees. A bill that provides more grants for abortion, a bill adding a new worker comp fee, one that panders to veterans by lowering vehicle registration fees without regard to income, and so many more. They also passed a bill at the suggestion of a high schooler that requires female mannequins for CPR training. This legislative session is further proof, if you needed it, that no Democrat in Illinois is serious about the things most Illinoisans are seriously affected by. I'm Jeannie Ives. Listen to The Real Story Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and sign up for my newsletter at breakthrough-ideas.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I spent years in the Marine Corps learning discipline, attention to detail, and how to do the job right. I'm Jim Melchert, and these standards stayed with me when I founded Garage Store here in Chicagoland. Your garage is probably the most neglected part of the house. Cracked floors, clutter everywhere, and a lot of wasted space. Garage Store provides solutions for that. Built for Chicago weather, our beautiful, durable floor coatings can be installed in just 2 days. We also install heavy-duty cabinets, overhead storage, even vehicle lifts. From floor to ceiling, your garage will be transformed into a space you'll be proud of and a space your friends will envy. Plus, our in-house, professional, respectful crew delivers timely installs. See why thousands of Chicagoans are transforming their garages with Garage Store.
Schedule your free in-home garage makeover estimate today. Call 847-428-8862 or visit garage-store.com. That's garage-store.com. Garage Store, built on service, driven by quality.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, Amy Jacobson here. Harvey Jacobson in for Jeannie Ives on The Real Story. You were telling me during the break the difference between Trump and Biden.
Oh, one big difference. When the coffins were taken off the plane, Trump stood at attention. Biden kept looking at his watch.
Yeah, and we don't even know if Biden knew where he was. That's for sure. Before we get to our next guest, let's quickly take Eduardo in Tampa Bay. You're on The Real Story. Good morning, Eduardo.
Yeah, good morning, Amy and Dan. So glad to see the Jacobsons together.
Thank you.
I thought the president gave a good speech, and I'm glad we're holding firm there because I think Iran should have been taken out during 9/11, in my opinion. So I'm glad finally we have somebody there that's going to take care of this once and for all because they are state-sponsored terrorism. So the Democrats, if they get in there, they're just going to give them money. It'd be, sideline. So.
Yep, kick the can down the road. All right, thanks, Eduardo.
There you go.
We want to get to our next guest because we have big news. George McCaskey, the grandson of Hallis, has spoken, and they might be moving to Hammond, Indiana, and he even said, get used to it and get over it if we do.
The fact of the matter is, we don't have a deal to consider right now. In Indiana, we have a great site. There's some due diligence that needs to be completed before we can fully evaluate the site, and we have a legislative framework in place. In Arlington Heights, we have a site shovel-ready, but we don't yet have a legislative framework. There are prudent and wise and responsible public servants in Indiana working on it, and there are prudent and wise and responsible public servants in Illinois working on it. If I could offer one football analogy, just as the course of a game, things ebb and flow. They go back and forth. Sometimes there is great momentum on one side. Sometimes the momentum shifts suddenly to another side. I've said to our family, we need to be patient and let the deal come to us. We think a deal will materialize somewhere. We're comfortable with either site, and we have people at the Bears working with public servants in both Indiana and Illinois trying to get this done.
So what does it all mean? Let's welcome back to the program former Republican state rep and now senior fellow at the Illinois Policy Institute, Mark Batnick. And Mr. Batnick, I want you to know that I was talking to John Anthony today, and he said you're one of the smartest people he knows.
Well, I appreciate that. Let's see if I can live up to even half that billing.
All right. So I know you wrote a white paper about this, about, property taxes in Arlington Heights versus Chicago versus if they move to Hammond. And when you read this article, you just heard McCaskey. What does it all mean? Is this still the cat and mouse game that we're playing?
Well, it's a little bit of the cat and mouse. I think from the beginning, and one of the reasons why I wrote that white paper was I wanted to show that Indiana is real. And I think a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their heads around the idea that the Bears moving to Indiana can happen. Without action by the legislature, you just can't do a stadium in Illinois under the current rules. The math doesn't work. It doesn't pencil out. The property tax rates are just way too high in Cook County. And if you were to apply those to the actual value of a stadium, it just doesn't work. So there's going to have to be action from the Illinois legislature to keep them in Illinois. And there's a lot of competing factions. You have 20 or so representatives that represent part of the city that don't want to vote to move the Bears out of Chicago. You have downstaters that don't see much in spending money to keep the Bears here. So you have to figure out how to get to that 60, 30, and 1, 60 votes in the House, 30 votes in the Senate, and then the governor's signature. And that's not as easy as it may seem.
No. You know what, Mark? Can we hold you over to the next half hour, please? Because we're kind of up against the clock. All right. You're listening to The Real Story on AM 560, The Answer.
You're Your home is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows, and doors to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. Listen to your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio every Sunday morning at 9. Sponsored in part by JeffBuysYourHouse.com and by Center Guard Plumbing. Get answers from industry experts so you can make informed decisions about your home improvement. Right here on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Gianna Gelosi. The Senate sent a bipartisan funding deal for the Department of Homeland Security back to the House, which met for about 2 minutes and took no action to pass it.
The measure would fund most of DHS with the exception of some immigration and border programs. The Senate passed a similar measure last week that was rejected by House Republicans. The House is now unlikely to take up this plan until later this month.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. President Trump says he's going to sign an order to resume pay for Homeland Security. The president called out European allies last night in an address to the nation focused on Iran.
President Trump has informed NATO partners that if they want help keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, the U.S. will help, but the U.S. is almost done taking the lead on that.
Fox's Peter Doocy. Iran fired more missiles at Israel and Gulf Arab states. America's listening to Fox News.
Your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect a few thunderstorms in the area with the possibility of some being severe. It'll be cloudy and windy with storms capable of producing flooding downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, and even an isolated tornado. The temperature will reach a high of 70 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
One of the most amazing and holiest weeks of the year for Christians is Holy Week, which begins on Palm Sunday, March 29th. This is the day Jesus rode a donkey into Jerusalem, and crowds waved palm branches and cheered, Hosanna, loosely a praise of save now. Just 4 days later, on Holy Thursday, Jesus and his disciples took part in their last Passover together. This Last Supper is when Jesus was betrayed and falsely convicted. The next day, Good Friday, Jesus was hung on the cross and died. John 1:29, Behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. But wait, the story doesn't end here. Jesus was buried in a tomb, and on the third day he rose from the dead. That's what Easter and the Christian faith is all about. Read Isaiah 53 and John's full account of this good news, a read that will change your life forever. Fox Valley Coins will be closed on April 3rd in remembrance of Good Friday. Happy Easter from Fox Valley Coins.
All right, does your garage floor look bad, covered in salt, cracked, or stained from this year's winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. A permanent new solution. Contact my good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom shiny, new in just one day. Seriously, I went to work, and when I came home, it was done. These guys aren't subcontractors. They work for the company. They're good guys. They love what they do, and it shows in their work. And my husband and I love it. I actually love the garage more because I brought a TV out there, Dad, and a ping pong table. So in the summertime, it's like an outdoor basement. So here's what you do. You're going to call our good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this summer and spring. It's not an epoxy job. It's better. Level 10 uses polyurea, which is a superior product to epoxy. One day and they're done. And guess what? If you have a lot of clutter in your garage and you're thinking, ugh, I just can't, I don't have time to do it, they move it for you. And then when they're done, they put it back. So call this number, 855-510-2628. That's 855-510-2628. Again, mention me, Amy, for $500 off, or simply go online to level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I'd been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Craig Bolanos, powered by VestGen Wealth Partners, Sunday morning at 10 on AM 560, The Answer.
AM 560, The Answer.
We're just talking garage floors here, me and my dad. And you've got an epoxy job, too, and you just said it's the best investment.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't crack. It looks nice. It's easy to clean. What can be better?
I know, and it's a game changer. And for you ladies looking to give your husbands a great Father's Day gift, because it's never too early to plan for June, go to call Level 10 Coatings, level10coatings.com, and mention me and $500 off. All right, let's get back to the Bears, because from what was said yesterday, George McCaskey, it sounds like we better get used to it. If we don't like it, quote unquote, get over it. Mark Batnick, former state rep and the senior fellow at the Illinois Policy Institute, joins us again. Thanks, Mark, for holding over there. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, I think to dovetail off of that, I think the Indiana thing is real. And you're going to have to figure out how to piece together the votes in a package that makes sense both for taxpayers and for the Bears to keep them in Illinois.
Well, let's talk numbers. So if they stayed at Arlington Heights, how much would they have to pay in property taxes a year?
Well, without legislation, if you were to just apply the tax rate to what they're looking at doing, a $3 billion stadium, you could be looking at upwards of $200 million in property taxes, which just doesn't work, right? Personal seat licenses, I mean, you look at that, it's like $2,000-$3,000 per seat for a 70-seat stadium per year. So the numbers don't work. It doesn't make sense for the Bears to do it. You're not going to bring in enough from concerts and other events to offset that property tax bill. That's why you need some sort of legislation. The way stadiums are often done is they're owned by the municipality or the state or some government entity. Then they pay zero in property taxes, and then the tenant rents the stadium. So like Jerry Jones, he built this AT&T stadium. He doesn't own it. He rents it. He paid for about 2/3 of it, and the local municipality paid for a chunk of it. And he actually has a long-term lease and rents it back. They're doing the same thing down in Kansas City. The Chiefs aren't going to own the new stadium. They're just going to be a tenant at the new stadium. That kind of wipes out that property tax aspect of it. The Bears have this piece of land. They want to own their stadium, and you're going to have to address that property tax issue.
Well, who pays the highest property taxes? What football team?
Yeah, the highest property taxes that I know of, when I wrote the report, the highest I could find was $8.1 million for SoFi Stadium, which houses two teams. And if I think I've seen something since then, it's about $8.9 million. So to go from $9 million as the highest property tax bill in the nation for a stadium all the way up to $210, you can see why that doesn't work. If the Bears land in Arlington Heights, I would expect that they're going to pay the highest property taxes in the nation, which shouldn't be a surprise for anybody in Illinois because we all see it when we open up our property tax bills. But it's going to be, for them to stay, they can do that, but it's got to be a far cry from the 210.
And Dad, when was the last Bears game you went to? You're going to love this story, Mark.
Probably 1952 when they're playing at Wrigley Field, and the field was running north and south. And Tom Matte, who was a former Ohio State player. And in those days, if you were on Ohio State's football team, you were a fullback. He had everybody in that team was a fullback. Anyways, it was slippery in the end zone, and he ended up in the first base dugout. That was the highlight of the game.
Baltimore Colts game?
Baltimore Colts.
And you've never been to a Bears game since?
Nope.
Why not?
I don't know.
Don't like crowds, Dad?
No idea. I guess I just never got close enough to go to one.
Yeah, that's great. So they played it.
Well, and like to be honest, but I mean, the in and out, whether it be at Wrigley back in the day or Soldier Field, isn't easy. I probably hit a Bears game, once a year or so, but it's not the easiest stadium to get in and out of, and that's one of the draws of Arlington Heights and maybe even Indiana. Some people have spoken that even if Indiana's farther, just because of traffic and the time getting into the stadium, it actually might be a shorter time to get your butt to the seat, even if it's across the border into Indiana.
So what's the next step? I know Cam Buckner's working on something. And why are Illinois lawmakers dragging their feet? Like they said they weren't going to discuss the issue until after the election, and like there's no fire in the belly for this. It feels like.
Yeah, I think pushing it off, it was political to push it off until after the election, because obviously you're dealing with primaries, you're dealing with people that have to take votes on something that might upset constituents either way, and when you're trying to protect incumbents, that's just what they did. I think things have gotten serious now. When things get quiet, that's when things get serious. They voted a bill out of committee that had no chance of being passed, and they even admitted that it would need to be amended. Well, then why even vote it out of committee? Where my disappointment has been the most, I don't know if it's a disappointment, there certainly are a few members fighting. This is an opportunity for Republicans to say, hey, we're not part of negotiations, but you're going to need our votes. And guess what? Our votes come at a cost. And you know what our cost is? Our cost is we want these A, B, and C property tax reforms for everybody. This is a chance to highlight the fact that there's a property tax issue in Illinois. Let's just not fix it just for the Bears, or let's not fix it for big businesses, because remember, this is a pilot bill, a payment in lieu of taxes for big projects. Let's do something for everybody. Let's do something for Amy and Harvey Jacobson. Let's do something for Mark Batnick. Let's do something for everybody across the state. I know Dan Ugassi's worked with Jeff Kiker, and they've put some things out there like, hey, let's stop backdoor referendums. Let's stop having referendums at every low turnout elections. Let's make it so that property tax referendums have to be at the November elections. The Republicans can really stand up loudly as a group because their votes are needed. There's not enough votes right now on the Democratic side to get this through the House.
Really?
So I feel like they're missing an opportunity a little bit right here.
Well, and you think about it, I mean, Chicago's not even an option anymore because the McCaskies, they're not dumb. They're savvy business people, and they have said they're sick of renting. They're sick of dealing with the city of Chicago. They've rented the Bears Soldier Field from the Chicago Park District since, 1971?
Yeah, and they've held up their end of the bargain. A lot of people are saying, well, there's a $500 million owed on Soldier Field. This would be like, let's say I go rent a house, and I pay my rent for 10, 20 years, and then the landlord refinanced the bonds a bunch of time, refinanced the mortgage, and is mad that the house isn't paid off when the renter leaves. They're renting it. The Soldier Field was there. They put their money in for the renovation. They paid it. They paid their rent. They don't owe anything else to Soldier Field. And that's something that a lot of people are having a hard time wrapping their head around as well.
This is what McCaskey said, quote, whether we go to Arlington Park or to Hammond, didn't even mention Chicago, there's going to be an adjustment period. People are allowed some time to get used to it. I think Bears fans are up to it. What's your reaction to that?
The two things. One, they will get used to it, and two, it shows that that the Bears are serious about becoming the Chicago Land Bears, not just the Chicago Bears. So, and I mean, the reality is that site in Hammond is, you could row your boat across that little pond, Wolf Lake, and get from Hammond to Chicago. It's just a few miles.
Let's go kayaking, huh? What could go wrong?
There you go. I don't know if I want to kayak in Wolf Lake. I'm not sure what kind of environmental issues are in it.
Well, there's transmission poles in there. You'll be fine. There's concrete around them.
Yeah, absolutely. But to that point, one of the big issues that I think McCaskey somewhat alluded to is there are going to be environmental concerns over the Hammond site, and there's the due diligence they're talking about is probably just that. Where do you build the stadium, and what is the soil like over there? What are you going to have to spend cleaning up the soil, if anything? Is the soil compact enough for a stadium? So there's a lot more due diligence concern, I would imagine, at the Hammond site versus Arlington Heights, where they probably already done it, and two, you had an operating business there that shouldn't have caused a problem. So the Illinois site does offer a better deal for the Bears, but unless the legislator gets their act together, you're not going to see him there.
Dad, do you have any questions?
No.
Oh, he's listening taking copious notes. So say the Bears do move to Hammond. It's a 340-acre purchase in Hammond. What happens to the 326-acre property in Arlington Heights then? Would they just sell that off to a developer? Or
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities to sell that off for whether it be, who knows, whether it be a data center, whether it be industrial, whether it be mixed use. Well, it's not going to be office, but residential. Arlington Heights is a high value part of the Chicagoland area.
We know
they'll get their money back and probably then some if they're to sell that off. But I do think it would be a loss for the state of Illinois if we don't get this deal done right. Like, it's frustrating that the Final Four is in Indianapolis again.
I know.
We've never had a Final Four in Illinois. We've never had the Big Ten championship for football in Illinois. We've never had a Super Bowl in Illinois. Not only does Indianapolis get those sort of events, they get those events repeatedly. Yeah. And those are outside dollars that are big economic booms for the state. And we're missing out on it.
Yep. All right.
And the city owns Lucas Stadium.
Oh, the city of Indianapolis owns Lucas Stadium.
And it's right across the street from an expo hall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually space underneath the field where that hall extends underneath the road.
Oh, like a walkway.
Yeah, for more exhibits.
Did you take a tour of that? Or the Cowboy Stadium? Which one did you go to?
Both of them.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Anything you want to say about either?
I got a question. I got a question for Harvey, if I might.
Yeah.
I've been to AT&T. I've been to the old Hoosier Dome. I haven't been to Lucas Oil. Which stadium do you like better, AT&T or Lucas Oil?
Probably Lucas Oil. It's a little bit more personal. It's not huge and overwhelming.
But that's how they do it in Texas, Dad. The higher the hair, the closer to God. Big is good in Texas.
There were 8 dressings. The only part of that stadium the Colts own is their own dressing room. And there were 8 other dressing rooms.
Oh, locker rooms?
Because they use it, or locker rooms.
Yeah.
They use it for high school football games Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Oh, see, that is so smart.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
You got a team on the field?
A multi-use stadium is smart. A multi-use dome stadium in the Midwest, which I advocated for this when they did the renovation. In fact, this was one of the things I ran on. It's not that Illinois doesn't spend the money. We see it. We spend a lot of money. We spend it poorly. Lucas Oil was barely more than the Soldier Field renovation. And look how much more of an economic benefit Indianapolis has gotten off of Lucas Oil versus what we've gotten off of the renovation of Soldier Field. That's a stadium that was built a year after Soldier Field was renovated, and it's hosting the Final Four this year, and I believe it's scheduled to do it 4 or 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Soldier Field is already a has-been, and we're trying to dispose of it. I mean,
Mayor Daley messed up.
Legislators leading. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but Mayor Daley messed up because he was asked time and time again, you need a dome. You need a dome. And he said, no, I'm not doing that. And that has cost us everything, I think.
And that stadium...
It's cost us a lot. Yep.
Yeah, the stadium runs northeast and southwest. And there's a huge window on the northeast part. And the reason it was built that way is they wanted to show off the skyline of Indianapolis.
Very smart.
And the Baltimore head coach, or the Indianapolis Colts head coach, determines whether the roof's going to be open or not.
Oh, he did on game day. He decides.
Yeah,
good for him.
Final word.
All right, Mark Backnick, I'm sure we'll have you back. Former Republican state rep and senior fellow at the Illinois Policy Institute. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
And he joined us on AM 560, The Answer.
This is the show that the Chicago Press Corps and the Democrats in Springfield don't want you to hear. It's the real story on AM 560. The Answer.
You know I don't push products I don't believe in, so listen up, because this one I love and recommend to friends and listeners. It's Virago Liquid Immune Support. Now, I spoke with Dr. Hubert, the creator of Virago, and let me tell you, this man knows immune health like nobody's business. He explained to me the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body fights back against viruses, disease, inflammation, all of it. That's why he created Virago. It's a liquid immune boosting supplement packed with 23 powerful nutraceuticals working together in synergy. It's antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even protects your heart, kidneys, and liver. And because it's liquid, your body absorbs it quickly. I mix Virago in my smoothies. I feel the difference, and you will too. So order your bottle of Virago today at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com, and use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. myvirago.com, coupon code IMMUNE.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it, literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available, financing is flexible, and at Air Right installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job. Really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you, and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling. Doing it right since 1959.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, cruising along on this fun but yet cloudy and dreary Thursday. It will get better, right? April showers bring May flowers. Yesterday, did you have any good April 1st jokes? Because somebody got me so good. They sent me a text message. Oh, I was so upset. I mean, I fell for this one, hook, line, and sinker, saying Iowa's men's basketball coach Ben McCollum will be taking the open North Carolina head coaching position with a 4-year, $100 million contract. And it talked about how he led Iowa to the Elite Eight for the first time in five decades or something. It was an April Fool's joke, so We're glad April 1st is over. All right, let's welcome back to the program our good friend, Jamal Green. He is with me and my dad. I hope you're okay with that, Jamal. I didn't tell you that my dad was filling in for Jeannie Ives today. Are you cool with that?
Okay, of course.
Yes. So I read are you no longer a Democrat, that you're now declared as an independent, or maybe you might become a Republican?
No, I've always been independent. I don't know if I've ever declared that I was a Democrat.
Okay. Well, it says that in Wikipedia, just so you know, so you might want to check that out. But you did.
Wikipedia got a lot of wrong stuff.
Oh, I know. They have horrible information, but you can go in there and correct it, believe it or not. So you're an American community activist. You ran for mayor. Are you going to be seeking the office in 2027?
Well, that's a good question. I can't lie and say I'm not exploring it. I've met with everybody else that is also considering. I just want to make sure that this city is in the position where we have true accountability for everybody. Folks in the communities and folks on the city level, where we can actually restructure how government works and make sure the government is actually working for its people instead of working against them. And I think that Brandon has just done a very terrible job. And we can't afford to put another puppet in there who's going to even do a worse job, like Alexei. We can't afford an empty suit. We need an actual independent mind who's willing to go toe-to-toe with the powers that be and pull everybody to the table and say, hey, the grift is over. It's time to move this city in a better direction.
Well, here's Mayor Johnson. He was he was at the No Kings rally. And, of course, he wants to abolish ICE, and he wants to protect illegals that are here just a few days after Sheridan Gorman was killed by an illegal. He's calling for reparations, and I see this as an act of desperation trying to save the black vote. Here he is.
The last I checked, we are not in competition with other people of color across this globe. The only people who want us to believe that we are in competition with one another are the same colonizers that pit us against one another. Why would I take the word of someone who hates us all to drive us apart? What sense does that make? And so I believe we can call for black liberation and reparations and not cause harm in this globe the way white supremacy has caused across this planet. And anybody that would fall victim to that type of ideology, well, then maybe you need a little healing yourself. And that's okay, because colonization is real. I think one revolutionary said that somebody would stab you in the back with a knife and pull it halfway out and call it progress.
So, I mean, I was at his press conference the other day, and I know he's a former history teacher, and I wanted to make him aware that Illinois was a free state during the Civil War, okay? But his comments regarding reparations that, he referred to colonizers, I wonder who the colonizers in Chicago were. I mean, does this surprise you? Does this offend you? And how are we going to pay for it since we gave the illegals $200 million in 2024 alone? That money could have been used for reparations, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is just desperation. You said it. And when we look at, let's look at the reparations that he did give out. He gave it to folks who just walked across the border and never paid $1 in taxes. Okay. That was reparations right there to people that have never done anything in this country. And we just handed over billions, Brandon by his own hand, at least $1 billion or more. And now you want to move to desperation by saying, oh, black people, we need reparations. Oh, well, let's look at what you did in regards to reparations. You actually paid, used $500,000 to pay your friends to study reparations just in, to try to get the black vote. Right.
Yeah.
And so, it's utterly disgusting. We have to stop playing politics while people are suffering. This is the truth, Amy. The truth is that we need a local city mayor again. Local city mayor who's not focused on every federal issue and playing into national politics, but actually making sure the schools are not bankrupt and they're actually teaching the kids properly, because our kids' reading levels and math levels are abysmal. Actually making sure that CTA is not a mobile homeless and mental health shelter. Actually making sure that the quality of life for residents in the city of Chicago is actually better than what it is, not jumping out doing no King's marches and all of this planned and federal issues. We need a local mayor again who's going to get the city together for the future of its residents. And that's what I want to see in the next election.
You know what, Jamal, we're up against the clock. Jamal Green, thank you so much for joining us. I am sure we're going to have you back at some point in time.
Anytime.
So have a wonderful day and a wonderful Easter. Thank you for joining us.
You as well. Thank you.
Thanks. God bless. Let's quickly go to Rick in Des Plaines. Hi, Rick. How are you?
Hi, Amy. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Say hi to my dad, or you're going to get in trouble.
Hello.
Hello, Amy's dad. I'm calling because you were talking about April. Yeah, I remember when I thought he was, oh gosh.
Walter Jacobson?
Yes.
I know, everybody did. That's why he's on. All right, what's the April Fool's joke your girlfriend played on you?
Oh, anyway, yeah, so her mother died, and the sister and her are going through, the whole thing, and they're going with the lawyers and divide up everything. And so she pranked me and said, well, my sister decided to tell me that I can have the house free and clear. I'm like, what? She goes, April Fools.
All right, Rick, thanks so much for the phone call. Appreciate it.
I miss you, Amy.
I love you, too. Take care. I'm here, so listen every day, 11 to 12, or download the podcast on Spotify or Apple. It's called The Real Story. All right, Dad, quick question. Who's your favorite daughter, Ginny, Chrissy, or Amy?
Oh, gosh, I forgot.
No, that's when you say I don't have one. You just said I forgot.
Of course not. I forgot.
Oh, no, that's when you say you love us all equally.
You all know that.
I know. We know that. All right, Dad, thank you so much for joining us.
It was fun being here.
Yeah. 85 years old, strong, and good luck with your golf game, because I know Monday you can start driving the carts again. So hit them long and straight. God bless you all, and God bless America.